not gonna do it this week because I was like I had so many things to follow up on when we got home.
Yeah.
I had all these phone calls that had happened while we were on vacation, and I was just like, all right. So I had come up for air at like Wednesday afternoon and went, oh crap, show prep.
I realized it when you tweeted out about tonight's show. I was like, was I supposed to do this time? Ah, crap.
Yeah, I was like, oops, show prep. I suck.
Thunk. I was like, okay, well, I'll try and get it in early then. I'll try and get it in early.
Yeah. So like, send it to me like tomorrow. And I'll have
Yeah.
it ready.
Oh,
Hi, chat room. Let's
good evening.
here. I have to tweet the things with the stuffs.
Yes, you do. I'm going to mute myself so I don't hear myself a couple seconds later. I have not shaved since Nerdtacular, did you notice?
I
Probably
saw your little
not.
scruffers. I thought
Just
you
a
had a
little
little bit of
scruffy.
scruffer going on.
If it wasn't for the fact that I just got off work and I didn't feel like shaving, then I would have. But most people listen to us on the download anyway, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You will not see my slightly scruffy, like a teenager attempting his first beard. My
Hi,
mid-30s
puberty. How are
teenage
you?
attempt. Yeah, my mid-30s teenage attempt to grow a beard. Hello, Namiria.
Hi,
Sorry you can't watch the
Anna.
whole thing, but thank you for being here.
And Buttress and Colin is here. Hi, guys. It's good to be back. We're happy to be
Hello.
here. We are happy to join you once again from our what do we call it? The afterglow of Nerdtacular.
Yeah. And also, I'll say it during the show too, but happy Doomfist Day.
You did wind up getting one from Nevermore. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah, I did.
So, how many pieces did you wind up taking home from her?
From her?
Yeah.
Just 2, but I have 2 more that she's going to melt and give me.
Okay.
So I just have to remind her.
Okay.
And then maybe more stuff, I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. It is mid-July, almost. And I currently have about a 3 to 4 week backlog for my stuff. So if you want to land your dude,
start now.
Get your thing in. Because otherwise I won't get you on the list. And it's going to be like, oh my God, dude. Like, yeah. So make your decision.
Okay.
I added a new weave yesterday or the day before.
A new weave.
Yeah. It's a new option. So, yeah. But I'm starting to get worried because there's all these people who have said something to me and said, I want to get something from you. And I'm like, I want to make sure you get it. But I don't want you to miss out on getting it because I'm going to start running out of room. So,
Yep.
and
The queue is going to get full.
And it's like 3 to 4 months out from BlizzCon. And if I'm already a month out, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I'll look at that tonight after the show and figure out what I want.
Good. Because that's going to be a necessity. Let me put this up here.
Yes, it is.
So look, I'm looking upwards. There we go. I gotta stop looking down. I'm everything is all messed up in this new space, so I'm still trying to like sort everything out. Where is everything? Where am I looking? Where is the camera? Where is my stuff? Where are my cats? Because they're in all the new spots too. But,
yeah, it could be like. And welcome to episode 256 of Tauren Think Tank.
I know.
Whatever episode this is, I can't remember.
256, I think.
Is it 250? No, 236.
236. Yeah.
Let's say, woo! I'm like
What?
5 months ahead.
Right. Have you heard that nerd's the word? As a nerdtacular. Nerdtacular is the word.
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
So we are going to be talking about community tonight.
Community.
Yes. I feel like there should be a song for that in somewhere.
Is there a song? Let's see.
By the way,
Sing a song.
somebody just sent this to me recently. Discord apparently has said that their video is coming really soon.
Yes.
I know. Get us off damn Skype.
Good.
Yep. So that's my hope, is that we can get off Skype for at least our regular show. If we have guests in, it's probably going to be tougher, but
Yeah, but yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
Which we can talk about that very thing tonight.
I just sent the
as
letter.
well.
I just sent it.
Oh, you
I
did?
just sent the email. Yep. So I said, here it goes. Like, I literally sent it like 15 minutes before I called you. So
Yeah.
I know. It's gonna be awesome. So. All right, let's test sounders. Let's see. What should we do? I want this one. Can you hear Kilrog?
Yes, I could hear Kilrog.
Ooh, chat room. Did you hear Kilrog yell at you?
I need to find some clips, like the one of Khadgar going, "What have you done?"
Yes.
Like I think that's what he says.
Yes. That is something I need to remember too. I have to go get some. I need to get some Overwatch sounders too. I need Overwatch sounders.
Okay.
I mean, random things, but yes, I want Overwatch
Hey, no,
sounders.
that'll be good.
I know.
Because I am down with that.
I am down with that.
Let's see if it'll play in my headphones. There we go.
Kalani sent me or sent a video out. He tested out Doomfist on the PTR today.
Ooh, how does he like him?
He's like, he's gonna take some finesse, but the combination potential is amazing.
Oh yeah, you string his ultimate with Zarya's, and it's like Junkrat's.
Kaboom!
It's just like,
I know.
boom.
It looks amazing. It looks really cool.
It's kind of like the end of oh shoot, what's that? Is it Kung Fu Hustle? I think it's Kung Fu Hustle.
I have no idea.
That movie is funny. It's they took the like all of the tropes and stuff from just a martial arts movie, and then it's like they got the creative team behind Looney Tunes to do it, because there's like zany action and just uncharacteristic CGI of like giant hands and stuff and all this, but it's pretty cool.
So you need to do yourself a favor. Do you have Amazon Prime Video?
Yes,
Prime?
I can get
it.
Mhm.
So on Sunday when we were at Nerdtacular, Jayance said to me and Josh and Kristen, he's like, we have to watch this movie. It was a riff tracks of this movie called Samurai Cop.
Oh, I remember that they did that.
You have to watch this. I was crying with laughter because it was so, like, their riff tracks was okay. Our commentary, I think, was even funnier. And just and like, watch this with your wife, because you need to watch this with somebody else to like laugh over things and go back, you gotta watch that again, because it's so funny. Oh my gosh, dude, like, especially towards the end, I was laughing so hard I was in tears. And so that is one that I highly recommend. If you guys have Amazon Prime and you can do Prime Video, pick up the riff tracks for Samurai Cop. It is the worst movie I've ever seen, and it was, oh my god, dude. There's this, I will just say this, there's this couple scenes where there's this wall hanging that is in every shot for like, 7 or 8 sequences, and it is the funniest thing you have ever seen, because clearly they filmed this out of somebody's house, and that person was very proud of having this wall hanging, and they wanted it into every shot. And
you can use this location only if
you incorporate my artwork on the wall. And it's not a picture.
Yes.
I'll say that too. It's not a picture. It's a wall hanging. And you will know it when you see it. So if you do this, please tell me, please tweet me, tell me that you watched it, because I swear I haven't laughed that hard in probably a long time. So
oh boy. Yeah, I'll have to do that then.
I laugh
because I do love a good. I love riff tracks. I haven't watched many of them, but I mean, it's the same guys that did MST3K.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Mike and Crow and Tom.
Yeah. So if you don't know what riff tracks are, it's like watching a really crappy movie and having their recording behind it, so they're like commenting on the movie and making snarky comments about it. And if you're with your friends, you'll make snarky comments about it as well. Like, it's just the funniest thing to do. And this movie is so bad that it's hysterical. So
bad it's good.
Oh, it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. The main character, Samurai Cop, is this white dude with a big old tan. And apparently he cut his hair halfway through the production. He had long, like, mullet hair. And so he cut his hair halfway through the production when they did reshoots. So they had to put him in this, like, share wig. That is the worst thing you have ever seen.
I have seen. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the poster now.
And it is, like, you can absolutely tell within a second when he's in the wig and when it's his real hair. So it's like, oh, there's the wig. Oh, it's his hair. Oh, it's his wig. And it's, like, within the same sequence. So must watch. I laughed so hard. What picture is this?
It's him with the sword.
Yes! He's, like...
Looks like he really has to poop.
He's the worst.
Out of the bathroom.
He's the worst actor in the world. Like, he's so bad. And there's not even, like, samurai moves until, like, halfway through the movie from this guy. And so...
Oh, no. So, this looks awful.
It's great.
Oh.
Please entertain yourself with this. I laughed so hard. I could not stop laughing. I cried.
His flowing mane.
And the wig is so bad, dude. Like, it's so bad. So, okay. Let's ready check the chat room. Make sure you guys are ready to go. Check. Ready check. We're happy to be back. We're happy to see you guys. We shouldn't miss a show for a while until the end of August because I have a trip at the end of August for work, but we're going to podcast move in at the end of August. So I'll be gone for a few days there, and I'll miss a show then, but I don't think
it's going to be a movement.
Podcast movement.
It's movement. Party.
Excellent.
Party.
Party! Lightning bolt. All right. Moo crew, welcome back. We're back from Nerdtacular. Let's do this thing. Are you ready, Marconin?
Yeah. We try not to fall over.
Well, please don't fall over. That would suck.
But make for good video.
Let's do this thing in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 236 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, July 6th of 2016. We are back from Nerdtacular 2017, and it has been an awesome week. I feel like I just saw Marconin because I just did. And it was so awesome because we had so much good quality times to spend together. My name is Jules, as always. And as always, Marconin is here too. Hi, Marconin.
Good evening, Jules. It's so good to see your face, even though it was better to see your face in person. And I miss it already.
I miss it too,
but it's
man.
Good to see you.
We got so many hugs. There was quality hug time. We got quality dinner time and hangout time, and it was awesome. We had a really, really good trip. And so we're going to talk about all the cool stuff that we did at Nerdtacular, of course. And then, so this show is going to be actually a discussion, it's going to be a hybrid of what we did at Nerdtacular. We're also going to talk about community, because I think that is it's a really relevant topic for what we just did. And it's been a while since we've talked about the ins and outs of community management and leadership and involvement and membership. So that's kind of where we're constructing our show tonight. It's going to be kind of a little bit hybrid-y, I guess, is what you'd say.
A hybrid-y.
And fresh off of a 19-hour shift and another, 12-something hour shift today.
Almost 12, yeah.
What is going on with you?
Well, I'm working a lot. a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's aside from Nerdtacular, which was amazing, I had to work the day after I came back, and then had the 4th of July off, so I slept until like 9. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
9 a.m. I didn't sleep the whole day away.
Sleep
But-
all day, have some
Yeah.
barbecue, go back to bed.
Uh-huh. So yeah, just a lot of working this week and a lot of brainstorming. I've been inspired. I've been inspired by Jules and also by the likes of Jocelyn Moffat and Nevermore with their craftiness. And there's some, I want to do something. I want to do something, with my hands, because that's what I do at work. I work with my hands all the time. I build stuff, and so I just kind of I want to make something in my free time. And not necessarily just, like the ringtones and stuff digitally. It's all well and good, but I can't hold it in my hand.
Right.
So I want to like build stuff and make stuff. So I'm doing a lot of brainstorming and a lot of thinking about what I might need. And so I'm not ready to say anything or do anything with it yet, but it's in the works. And I'm just, the cogs in my head are turning, and sometimes they burn up a little bit because I'm thinking too much and trying to figure everything out. So the gears are turning, but not very efficiently.
So yeah, because Marconin kind of really got a good dose of it with especially spending time around crafty people this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Nevermore and Jocelyn and I, and Nevermore and I were together a lot with the crafting stuff, and you were in turn around us both a lot. So
I got to watch Jules make the chainmail stuff in person, and I just I was standing in front of her booth at points, just staring. I'm just like, wow, that's really neat.
It is. It's
just
mesmerizing.
just enamored by it.
It's mesmerizing. I don't understand. Like, people are like, "Do you mind if I watch you?" And I'm like, "No," because it doesn't bother me that someone is watching me make stuff. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Jocelyn calls it magic. She thinks I'm a wizard. She's like,
no, she's a druid. She's a druid. There's a difference between druids and mages or wizards. Wearing my mage shirt.
You are
for those of you guys listening.
That's so funny. So it is a. I can totally understand it. The creative outlet that it has given me is I can't even hardly put it into words, because it really does inspire. Like, it turns my brain into different directions too.
Yeah.
It inspires other things. I'm starting to think outside the box in other ways too, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you will come up with as your craft of trade.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of things I have never really done before, kind of, but not really. Because I used to, when I was little, like if you go back to my mom's house and you look in my old bedroom, there's about half a dozen Star Trek ships, models that are painted, have the decals, and they're hanging by clear wire from my ceiling. And there's like stars and everything. So I built models a lot when I was growing up. And of course, when you build a model, well, now you've got this giant thing. Where are you going to put it?
Right.
So, like, well, I don't know if I can go all the way back into that just yet. Maybe one day I can dip my toe back into that. But, I just like making stuff. And so I've got some ideas and just need to get some crafts. But luckily, they're building a Hobby Lobby, like, right down the street. So I can just walk right in and just go down the hills like, hey, there's some stuff.
How's it going?
So, yeah.
Lots of stuff here.
I'm going to buy some stuff from here and make some things. And they're like, yeah, whatever, keep going. Stamp collecting is aisle 2. Framing is aisle 7. Just get out of here, kid. Get away, boy, you bother me.
That's funny. That's really funny. So let's talk about our experience at Nerdtacular. So I got there on Wednesday, and so did you. And I was there. I was up like stupid o'clock. Like, it was 4 o'clock, 3:45 a.m. when I got up, and I was freaking out because this was the first time I was gonna park my car at the airport because it was so early. Like, usually, like, Pat will give me a ride to the airport because it's expensive to park there, and I was just like, it was so early that I did not want them to get up that early because they'd have to drive out to my place and then to the airport. It'd just be stupid o'clock, like stupider o'clock. And so, I was rooming with Jayance, who was also flying in and getting a car and driving us, me and him and our friends Josh and Kristen, and we raid with Josh as well, so know each other pretty well. We were all kind of coming at the same time, and we're gonna drive up together to the mountain. And so I'm freaking out because there's huge storms coming in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning. There's huge thunderstorms coming in, and I'm like, oh gosh, like this is gonna get crazy if I can't get there in time. You guys are gonna have to wait for me. I have to drive in torrential rain. I can't see anything. It is like pouring rain, lightning flashing everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, please just make it to the airport, okay? And I did. I was fine. But what a way to, like, nobody needs caffeine when you've got flashing lights and like water everywhere. It's like,
yeah, like zero visibility.
I'm awake. Yeah. Get to the airport, get through security real fast. Great. Awesome. Flight's great. So that was the worst part of my travel. It was great. So get to Utah, and everybody's kind of coming in their own pace. I was the first one there, and the other sets of people were going to be there like an hour after me. Mm-hmm. And in Utah, there is a very unique situation that happens when you come to the airport and you go to baggage claim, especially in, I think it was Terminal 1 that I was in for Delta. As you know, it is the height of Mormon country. And so I go down the stairs to go to baggage claim. And I'm not joking, there were probably 70 to 100 people gathered at the bottom of this escalator around this barricade area. Signs, balloons, boom boxes, and they're just anxiously waiting and looking at the escalator coming down. And I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. And as I get closer, I see the signs that say, welcome home, elder, last name. And like different groups. And I'm like, oh, they're waiting for there's families waiting for their kids to come back from their mission trips.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. And what I didn't know was that I had no idea how long these young men were gone. So I'm just watching, I'm watching intently because I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for my ride to get there.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're spotted on the escalator, this whoop, screaming, cheering goes up in the crowd, and they're just and it's their entire family, extended family. And it just, I was amazed. And I learned later, because I didn't know anything about this. I was actually just kind of learning on the fly that these young men were being gone for 2 years. So they were welcoming them home from a 2-year away from home stint. It was fascinating, dude. I was just this is so different. You would not see this in other places, And so, and they're and the young men are coming off the escalators. They're all dressed in full suits, and it's every one of them. And they're young. They're 19 years old or something. And so it's just wow, that's different. That's cool. And when I was going back home to Minnesota, I saw a lot of them getting on in the lines to check their bags and everything to go on their missions. So it's that must be just a constant flow. Cause this was at 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, and there were 70 people, and then they all left. And then an hour and a half later, when people were kind of getting to pick me up, there was another group of people waiting, another 70 to 100 people waiting for their loved ones to come home. It was really interesting, dude.
Wow, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing to see.
Mm-hmm. So, and they were playing music and they were dancing, and it was just wow. I've never seen anything like it. So that was my culture impression of Utah. And when we got there, we got our car and everything, and Jayance had decided that we were going to go to this place called Antelope Island. It's a national park in Utah, and it's it was an hour away from the airport north, and then we'd have to come back to go to Snowbird. So, but we had all this time
yeah.
and everything. So apparently Antelope Island has no antelope.
It's only there to trick you to see it.
They do have a crap ton of buffalo, though. And
okay.
or bison, sorry, bison. And there's bison like right up against like the road that you're driving. I hadn't laughed so hard in in quite some time because Jay was too afraid to drive, and so he made Josh drive, and Josh was terrified. He's like, they're gonna charge the car. They're right next to the road, dude, and we're gotta go that way. It's like, oh my gosh. And we're just like, they're just looking at the car. They're not gonna charge the car. And they're like, they're looking at me, and it was, and they're like right there, like on the edge of the road, and we're like, hey dude, how's it going? And they're telling my friend Kristen, take a picture. She's like, I'm not opening the window to take a picture. Are you crazy? Like
that's how you end up on those world's most dangerous animal accidents videos.
Exactly. So we saw no antelope, but we saw lots of bison, and it was a pretty fun experience to go through. And then, we did the whole thing, got food at Target, went to In-N-Out Burger, and we finally get up to the mountain at the top of go to the mountain. And I'm getting out of the car, and I hear, oh, it's Jules. And now, okay, I'd been up since 4 a.m. It was around 4 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm like, and I turn around, and it's Marshall Chanter and his wife who wrote us about the cross-country trip that they were taking. And I was like, hi, guys. And they introduced me. I gave them, shook their hand and everything like that. And I'm like, I am so sorry that I am not very, very like Jules-like right now, because I wasn't. I was just like, I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, these poor people are meeting me for the first time, and I look like poop. And I'm just like, I'm so
I'm
tired. And I told them, I'm like, I promise I will be cooler when you meet me later.
I just need a nap and some food.
Right.
Well, you already ate, but.
Yeah, I do. I just needed
a
nap. Like, I was so tired, but then I couldn't sleep when we got there because it was like, I can't sleep. There's all these people here.
No, it's so hard to sleep when you're at these things.
I know. It was just like that. So we had such a great time just seeing everybody. It was like a family reunion, just hanging out with people and just, having meals and taking pictures and stuff like that. And so what was anything from the first day that happened to you that I have all these stories?
Well, I mean, it was, this was one of the first times I haven't flown Southwest. So it was different. I had to pay for my bags, which is, first world problems, but hey, I'm not used to it. Southwest doesn't charge for their bags. Other airlines get with the program.
Right. No, the other airlines make you like sign up for their frequent flyer program and their credit cards so you can get a free bag.
Yeah, no. Sneaky.
Sneak.
But yeah, I had a long layover in Houston. It was 4 hours.
Yikes.
Just walking around. Played some Pokemon Go though. So it wasn't a total loss, and I got to kind of stretch my legs a little bit and walk around. But I ended up staying on the plane. It took them about an hour and a half for us to get away from the tarmac.
Yeah.
Because there was some computer problems with our plane. They said there was some error, and so they had the mechanics fix the error, but they couldn't get the computer to get the computer brain of the airplane to fix it.
Oh, no.
And it was essentially doing a blue screen of death pretty much. And so they said, okay, well, we have to reboot the plane. So it's going to go dark and there's not going to be any air, but it should only be for about 4 or 5 minutes. And so I'm just like, okay, yeah. So I'm on my phone. All of a sudden, this is the only time I've ever heard an airplane completely silent, because there's always air going.
Yep.
The engines are already spinning a little bit. There's always some sounds. And it was just eerie sitting in the plane full of, 100 some odd people. And then you pick up on the little bits of chit chat, and the stewardess's heels are clicking pretty loudly down the aisle, and people are moving around, and it was just it was creepy, but it was still kind of cool because it's the only time I'd ever had that experience.
Yeah.
So they had to call IT. It was like, have you tried turning your airplane off and on again? So that's what we had to do. And luckily that fixed it finally, and it took them a while to get, all the checks and all the stuff to like, okay, you can fly now. And so then we flew out, and I got there. So I got there pretty late.
Yeah.
And this year I roomed with 112, our good buddy in the guild, and he got in. I got 1:00, and I got in at closer to 5. So he had 4 hours to burn. So he went to the museum. He went and got groceries, got all the stuff, and he. It's funny because I was standing in the passenger pickup line. I told him what marker I was at so he could pick me up, and because he got a rental car too. And all of a sudden I'm on my phone, and behind me I hear Marco. In instinct, I almost went Polo. But then I turned around, and it was him, and he's like, I missed the turn. I have to go around. Like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, I almost said Polo. That was funny.
He's the only one that calls you Marco too, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But we know it's him because he's the only one who does it.
Yep, absolutely. And so yeah, we got our stuff, grabbed some food, and went on up to Snowbird, and that's when we started crashing into everybody. And
yeah, well, not
the
hugs.
Well, no, not literally, but it is so darn beautiful up there.
It is. It's gorgeous.
I mean, I was raised in a river delta. I mean, it is flat where I grew up. Rice fields as far as the eye can see. And to be, 8,000 and change feet in the air, all of these mountains, like it's such a change of scenery for me. I love it. I just love seeing other parts of the country because it's just, it's like these are the same. This is still the same place that I live. It's. It's not like you go to a different country. It's like, this is also interesting. But yeah, it's just beautiful up there, and I loved how cool the weather was. It was beautiful. I totally did not miss Arkansas weather today when I walked outside. And if you don't live in the South and you want to know what it's like to be outside in the summer, go to your nearest hotel that has a hot tub. Stick your face in it and try to do everyday tasks while you're completely submerged in a hot tub.
Yep.
I mean, it is a sauna outside, and it's so like you walk outside and you're covered in just moisture.
Yep.
It's not sweat, it's just water.
That's the big difference. Like, so when we took a day on Sunday, we went down to the valley in Salt Lake and got some food and wandered around for a bit, and it was 96 degrees Fahrenheit in the valley, but it was zero, like there's no humidity because it's all dry. And so walking around at 96, it's hot, but I wasn't even sweating. And
really,
it's like, this is weird. Like, you feel very warm, but you don't feel like you're sweating your butt off because the humidity just like it, but everybody who, like, I guess I'm used to a little bit more of it being dry, especially in Minnesota because it is so dry here in the winter. And so everybody who was like from the coast and from the lowlands was like sticking their faces in the humidifiers just to take a breath because they were so dry. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's dry, but it's not bothering me as much as it's bothering you guys. What bothered me again was the altitude on that like the second day after we got there. I definitely felt it. And then I was fine after that. And then when I got home, I felt it again because I was adjusting back to the normal, altitude that I'm used to. But altitude adjustment is real. Like, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Don't run. Do not run.
Drink so much water. Like, drink more water than you ever think you will ever drink.
Yeah. We were constantly drinking water the whole several days we were there, and it was needed. Yep. I mean, I'm not one to use like chapstick, but that's the one time in my life that I've actually needed to use it really badly.
Yeah,
was up there, and I may bring some for BlizzCon because that first year at Nerdtacular, like the last day, I was like clawing around trying to find it because my lips were so dry and cracked. I was like I'm in pain.
Yep.
But I took some precautions this year, so I was doing a little bit better.
Good. Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun. So many friends were there. We had our friend Kalani was there. Pat Crane was there, even though I see him all the time. It was great for everybody else to see Pat too and to hang out with him. because
I got to go on to vacation with my boss.
With my boss. So I had so much fun, and there's just so many great friends. Ben and John from Azeroth Roundtable, of course, Jocelyn and Nevermore, my dear co-hosts from Slaying Demons, and just had so much fun. Like, and then I got to see so many of my my podcaster friends. It was amazing to see Scott Johnson again. He like I almost walked right past him, and he was like, "Jules," and I'm like, ah! So he gave me a big hug. It was so good to see him. I had to tell Scott one of the things that, and he actually tweeted me afterwards, and he said it really gave him the feels that I had told him this. But my first Nerdtacular was 2012, and that was about 2-3 months after Tauren Think Tank had started, and it was I was brand new. I was a huge fan of Scott and his work, and of TMS and all of the stuff that he had done. I'd been listening to Film Sack for years. And I was really super nervous to meet him. And a couple of days before Nerdtacular this year, a couple of days, he tweeted a picture of him and I from 2012. And he said, "It feels like yesterday." And I said, "I know." And I thought, what a ripple effect that experience of 2012 had. And I told him about it. I said, Scott, if you have no idea of the impact that this event and your community that you've put together has had. On the day of Nerdtacular 2012, I sat down next to Jocelyn Moffat. I just happened to sit next to her. And she didn't play WoW. I had just started podcasting. I introduced myself, we started talking, and I asked her if she would be willing to ask, if she would be willing to be interviewed. And she was interviewed on that show. And so because we used I sent that stuff back and it was used on the show. And from that meeting, we built a friendship over time. It didn't happen right away, but we kept in touch. And over time, we kind of connected more and more until we became really amazing friends. And I met her because of Nerdtacular. And I met Pat Crane because of Nerdtacular, which is an amazing thing, because if I had not met Pat Crane, I would not have become one of the leaders of the CTR Guild. I would not be living in Minnesota. I would not be working for him. There's so many things about my life today that has been impacted by Scott Johnson. And I told him that. And he told me later, he said, you really hit me in the feels. And I'm like, you hit me in the feels, because it was that scared new podcaster who didn't feel like I had a place in anything, and to be so nervous to actually walk up to him and ask him for a picture when I met him in 2012, to now be a friend. It's amazing to me. And I said I will be forever grateful for that, because had I not gone on that trip, a lot of things would have been very different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who knows where the show would be
exactly
at that point without him. And he was a giant inspiration to me, because I probably told it on the show before, but I took a podcasting class in college during the summer, just on a whim. And the first assignment was, okay, go to iTunes and find 5 podcasts about things that interest you. And I was like, well, I play World of Warcraft. So I looked that up, and boom, there's the instance with him and Randy.
Yeah.
And that was the start of it for me, listening to him. And, it was through listening to the instance that I listened to to all the little bits at the end of the show. And that's when I started my editing and doing my own bits. And then I got picked up by this little show a couple years later. So,
I think that transitions perfectly into our topic for tonight. So I'm not even going to play a sounder. I think we're just going to go into it.
Yeah, we can go ahead into it.
There's a power that comes from a community, and I think a couple of years ago or a year or two ago, I kind of came up with an analogy of what community is. A community forms around a person or an ideal. Usually in our world, it forms around a person or a small group of people. You know, in our experience, it's the podcaster or podcasters that, or Twitch streamer or YouTube personality, content creators, people who create things. So that's kind of where I'm going to talk about it from that perspective, because I think that's, you know, that's where I'm clearest the most and most experienced. But I look at them in the terms of science, in that those people, the people who are at the center of it, are actually a nucleus. It's a nucleus of a center, you know? And those who form the community are the atoms that circulate around them. And so I hope I'm doing this right, because like my science is shit. So so I'm hoping that I'm correct in this. But
electrons go around the nucleus.
Okay,
and the nucleus
thank
has
you.
protons
See?
and neutrons in it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
But you get the analogy that I'm going for, where there's the center, and the center is nothing without the electrons that are rotating and circling around the center, because they are part of that.
Yeah. And you can also say, like, the nucleus is, think of it like a star in a star system. I mean, without the sun, none of the planets would have formed, and on one of those planets, life wouldn't have formed. So without that nucleus, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Just like without the nucleus that, you know, in this example, Scott Johnson is, we wouldn't be here, at least not in this capacity.
Right.
So that's same idea, just a lot bigger.
And then scale. It's interesting because a nucleus can also become an electron, you know, because like, so we are, I think, the nucleus of our community, of the Moo crew. We are the center. And then those who gather and are attracted to us rotate around us. But in turn, we are rotating around Scott's community. And so it's symbiotic, because you have multiple abilities, like you wear these multiple hats. And so it's a very interesting concept when you think about it, because then you've got the center and the people that rotate around them, and they work as a unit. They work together.
Yeah, but it's kind of like in the same analogy, you know, our listeners are the planets, we're the star of that system, but then of course the people that we are orbiting is like the center of the galaxy. So there's all these different, you know, there's just levels of complexity with the same basic idea. We're just all in our own little systems, but we're all part of the greater whole.
Right. Now, as the center, you know, as the leader, it becomes very important that the center is stable, that it is, you know, that it is it has a strong core. It has, you know, a strong sense of ideals. It has a clear view and vision of what it wants to be, because if it becomes unstable, then in turn the community does too, and in turn, like attracts like. So the types of you know, star and the planets that surround that, they have similarities to them. There's going to be the same kind of things. And in Nerdtacular's, Tom Merritt was there. Tom Merritt has said something that I've always loved, and he said, "You get the community that you deserve." As a content creator. Now think about that for a second. So if you exude positivity and support and good-natured fun, and you're going to attract people who are of that type. If you are toxic, if you are rude, if you are mean, you will draw together people who are like that. That's just like attracts like. And I thought about that, and it's like, yeah, you get the community that you deserve. And so I see a lot of people who are like, how do I build a community? Well, you just have to be you. Yeah. You know, your center, who you are, is you. And so if that is like, that's how, and so that's what Convert to Raid has always been about, is like this center of creating a space for people who want to raid, who are good people, like, you know, follow Wheaton's law, don't be a dick, you know, and just and treat people with kindness and sensitivity.
And we have a leadership in place that embodies that and remembers that, and they put it into practice. They're not, the CTR, community teamwork respect is not just something we put on a wall and look at occasionally. It's something that's embodied by not just leadership, but also all the officers too.
Yeah.
And that's why it needs to, that's why you get a place that's so stable, is because, or a place so large that remains stable, is that every level understands what it's about. It's a clear message. It's like starting a business and you've got a clear business plan. You've got a clear direction. Everyone knows it. Everyone follows it. And you chart the course and you stay the course.
Yeah.
That's how you get it. And you think of like Oddish or Steph Oddish, her channel started out small, just stayed consistent, stayed positive, attract more positive people that help with everything, and all the people that don't follow the same, outlook and just manner of being, they weed themselves out. I'm thankful that we don't get a whole lot of trolling in the chat room most weeks. We'll get a smattering every once in a while if somebody's just like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And then they're gone. They're a flash in the pan, but the people that matter stay.
Right.
And,
yeah.
That's
Attracts like, because they are going to come here and say, this is for me or this is not for me. And they're going to, most of the time weed themselves out. But
yeah. Or get kicked out.
But one of the things that I find interesting, and one of the experiences that I've had relatively recently and over time as well, is to watch how a community evolves. And so, when you have people that form a community around a personality or a certain show or something like that, how it gets managed is so very important, because what I've seen in the past is like, there's it's kind of like this clear hierarchy. The community comes together to celebrate or to embrace the ideals of the person in the leadership position, or the people in the leadership position. But then there's always those instances where someone steps into the community and they have their own ideas about how they feel they want to run, or they want to see how things are run. Like, I'm here because of so-and-so, but you know what? I don't really like what so-and-so has to say about this, or I think you need to be doing more with connecting with your people. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to start talking about that. And I'm going to start maybe suggesting that I help you out with this. And then over time, you have someone that I call the mutinist. The person responsible for a possible coup or a mutiny, or wanting to kind of get a piece of their pie out of your pie.
Yeah, a little bit of a schism there.
Yeah, because they haven't gone and they haven't built up the community on themselves. I've seen this happen. I saw this happen very recently in another community that I was a part of. And how it was handled was really bad. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to call anybody out. But what happened is that this person caused drama, and they left in a very dramatic huff. And the leadership team freaked out and said, we can't allow this person to leave. We must encourage them to come back. And they gave them lots of attention and a lot of, begging, to come back, which is what the person wanted. And of course they came back in a flare of, well, I suppose I can return again and I can come back. And it's like, oh, we're so glad you're back. It's so great that you didn't leave. And everybody who surrounded that personality, that mutinist, has been all excited. And guess what the mutinist did?
Left.
Nope. They caused another stir. Yep.
I thought when they'd gain a lot more accolades, and then go ahead and leave anyway.
Oh, no, because that's what they're after is a tremendous amount of attention.
I see.
It's the drama, leaving in a very obvious way so that everyone sees it and everyone's reacting to it, and then they have to go and drag you back in. Come back. We love you. We miss you. Please don't leave. You're an important part of this community. And they come back because of the accolades and now that they've come back, the attention's off of them. So what do? They go back and they go for more attention. And so but what happened in this community is that it exploded and backfired on the leadership team, because they tried to invite this person back again. They felt bad for this person, again, not realizing that they were being manipulated. And I'm sitting there like frothing at the mouth going, do you not see what's happening right now? Do you not understand what this person is trying to do? They're trying to break the community. They're trying to fracture it. They're trying to turn it onto themselves. And they're trying to turn it into a cult of personality.
Yeah.
In those cases, it was up to the leader to say, you are out of here. You are not welcome here. And you are not being invited back here. And that eventually, I believe, happened. I left because I could, like, again, frothing at the mouth because I couldn't stand what I was seeing. And I'm like, you guys, come on. But that's what I had seen. And this happens in communities, and it is a common mistake for leaders to try to please everybody.
Yeah, it's the what happens to most Facebook groups, I think.
Yeah,
because I see a lot of it on like small Facebook groups, and I'm like, I'm just here for this, and I see all this other extra drama and stuff. I'm like, that's not. I don't care about all that.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So
just ignore it till it blows over.
Yeah, and the problem is that there are people that are they love a good gossip session. Mm-hmm. You know, some drama happens and boy, it's the talk of the day. We got to talk about what so-and-so said to so-and-so and then they left in a huff and blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, because of the work that I do in the CTR Guild, I hear about all of this kind of stuff. Like when it happens, people will tell me what happened. And if I don't see it for myself, but if, like, hey, this happened. And my first instinct is usually to just roll my eyes really big. Like, because I can't deal with drama. I don't like it. It's just, it's so frustrating. So yeah, so if you are ever a leader within community, remember the first golden rule of this is that number one, you are the leader, and number two, it's your home. So it is if you have someone that is in your community that is causing problems, you have every right to say you are not welcome here because of XYZ rule that we have set in our community that does not allow this kind of behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have a well-founded beginning and foundation, like if you've got rules and stuff, you could just point to the rules and say like, hey, you agreed to this. This is, that's one of the things when people cut up in guild chat and they're like, hey, you can't do that. You can't say this. Why not? Well, you read and agreed to the terms for the guild. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
And that, and that takes the pressure off of you as being a person instead of you just being the arbiter of justice, just based on your word. You've got something concrete to back it up.
Yeah.
So in forming a community, I think laying ground rules is essential for longevity and stability. Yep. So, I mean, you got to put in those rules and you've got to abide by them. You have to set them and you have to stick to them.
Yeah.
You can't really make exceptions because, it's like one small crack. Then it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden the whole thing falls down.
Yeah. What I find is really interesting as well when we go to Nerdtacular and we see, I'm going to try and really be delicate about this. I don't mean this to sound negative, but I'm in the danger zone. So I know that I'm in the danger zone, and I apologize in advance if I say anything that doesn't come off right. When we go to Nerdtacular, there are a lot of people there that idolize Scott Johnson. Like, idolization is the word that I would use. This like, and other personalities within the Frog Pants network of shows. There are people like, who have tattoos of the Diamond Club logo on their arms. I would call that idolization. This feeling like these people are well and above who you are as a person. And I struggle with that a lot, especially when it happens to me, because I don't understand idolization of someone who puts their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And, at the same time, I was very scared to meet Scott Johnson because at the time in 2012, I idolized him. I thought he was an
Yeah.
amazing person. I thought he was just like head and shoulders above what I could be. And I realized that over time that it was like, wait, we're not so different, he and I.
Yeah, and I think the main difference is that you idolized him because, he was, to you he was this podcast person that did all this stuff, but really he just had a passion and followed it. He's known, people aren't any different than anyone else. They've just done something different, and it's stuck.
Right.
That's the only main difference.
The struggle that I have with it, and Draven just made a comment about, having singers and band tattoos on his arm. I totally understand having idols and people who you really truly look up to.
Mm-hmm.
But I get worried about community when community becomes to the point where it's literally like, oh my God, XYZ leader of this community actually spoke to me. I've seen that. Like, I literally saw that in a community that I was a moderator in, that the leader of the community talked to the other moderators, and some of the moderators was like, oh my God, they spoke to me, like, and said that. And I was like, you're a leader within this community, and I get it. I understand idolization, but I think it's a dangerous and slippery slope.
It really is. It really is. There's, I and of course I've, we'll keep bringing up Scott because, it's Nerdtacular and all, but, he would probably remember who I am, because a couple of times at BlizzCon, like, I was going down an escalator, him and his family are coming up, our eyes meet, and he was like, how you doing, man? It's not one of those, hi, how's it going? But it's like, and when one time he walked by me, he's like, I remember you.
Yeah.
He and knows. That made me feel good. That made me feel good. So I was like, hey, he knows me. That's really awesome. But if I leave the gaming area or my gaming part of my world, if I go to work and some random person that I'm talking to, a random client, is like, yeah, Scott Johnson kind of knows me. They're like, who? They don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't know. And that's, that just shows that, our communities are separated, and that they don't have that much involvement with it. But, I'm not above, just walking up and talking to Scott, or not talking to him. I ended up not getting around to talking to him at Nerdtacular this year. Mm-hmm. So I'll make it a point to say hi at BlizzCon again.
Right.
But it's, I really look up to him. I think he's an awesome guy. And, there's a little bit of idolization, but I keep it in check because he's just a guy, but he does some awesome things. And I respect, it's less, I guess it's less idolization and more respect for his work.
Yeah.
Like, because I went up and talked to Russell Brower a little bit. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to, because he was right after the big panel, and I had him sign my Mista Pandaria soundtrack. And I just talked to him for a couple minutes. I was like, I've talked to you a couple of times. It's okay that you don't remember me. You meet thousands of people a year, but I love your work. I still love your work. You do amazing stuff. Just as a quick compliment.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to come home and like do this, huge thing about it, because it's not, it's not. Like, I'll be straight up. If Christopher Lloyd came up and talked to me, I would be floored for like a month. That's all I would talk about. Because, I love Doc Brown. I loved all, Uncle Fester, all of his work. But it's also because he's like, people outside of my normal circles know him. So, it seems like you've got a little bit more of the celebrity credit, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my gosh, did you see this thing? But I still have to check myself, because like he's an actor. Mm-hmm. He's an actor. He's not causing world peace. He's not doing all this stuff. He's not inventing cold fusion. He's an actor. And so I think that's when, if people forget that and they just go rank it up to 11 and they forget all that stuff, that's when the idolization becomes dangerous. And it becomes just, maybe not dangerous, in some cases dangerous, because then you get like those stalkers that like try and take pictures and climb into their window at night and stuff. But you just kind of check your idolization, I guess, a little bit. I don't really know where I'm going with it, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm kind of just letting it out.
Yeah, I think my point of going down this thread is to think about it when you are part of a community, and
yes,
because and as a leader of a community. Like if you find yourself in a position where you are a leader, or you've become part of, you know, the situation where you are part of the center of the community, it's a heady responsibility to be at the center of that, and I've seen this go bad with people because they want to be idolized. They want people to kind of like bow at their feet and treat them like royalty and all of those things. And that's where it can go really, really negatively. And it's a huge responsibility for like, nobody trains you to be a good leader. And nobody trains
experience.
Yeah, and nobody trains you to be, you know, how to handle being super popular. And so I watch sometimes where I'm like, people who are like, oh my gosh, this person so-and-so is amazing. And I know more about that person than they probably do, and go, really? Like, is that what you think? You know, remembering that they are, you know, they're a human, they're everyday. It's something that I just want people to double check themselves when it comes to idolizing people, because you will put them on a pedestal that they can't live up to, and that they may take advantage of if they're the wrong kind of person. It's so easy to see. I mean, I watch a lot of Twitch. I watch a lot of Twitch streamers. I watch a lot of things people do on Twitch, and sometimes I just shake my head when it comes to some of the real popular Twitch streamers. Some of them are great. Some of them are awesome. They treat their community really, really well. They know how to work it. They know how to do it. And there are others that I'm just like, how does this person have, you know, 10,000 subscribers? Like, how does this happen? Like, it's like a cult. It's like this weird, like, brainwashing shit that goes on with these people, and they throw money at this guy and he treats them like a piece of dirt. And I'm like, I don't understand. But you know, it's not my cup of tea. Again, you are you get the community that you deserve. So, you know, it's a very interesting thing. It's fascinating to me. I watch communities like form and grow and shift and all that, and I can say for absolute certain I am not like the best community leader out there at all, but I think I know what I'm doing, and I think I know enough to see where the pitfalls are and where the struggles can be. And boy, I've seen some times where the community almost ate itself.
Yeah.
Which is bad. One of the things that I think is something, if you ever are someone who is kind of at the center or the leadership of the community, is that you need to be involved in your community. And I will be the first to admit that is something I need to get better at all the time, because I'm a multitasker. I'm the queen of multitasking. It is very difficult sometimes for me to focus on one thing. Like if I do chainmail, I can focus on that. But I'm also listening to a podcast or something else. I have to have something else going on. That's just how my brain has become wired now. And so in turn, what happens is sometimes I just like spread too thin. Community involvement. Yeah, like I have to go, no, you need to make sure that you're talking to those people in that group because you haven't said anything in like 2 weeks. So
yeah, I need to get better at that myself.
Because it is on the converse side of it, it is that those people who are part of the community are there because of you, you know? And so when you make yourself available and make yourself involved in there, then it's a huge difference. And I know that's something I have to be better at as well. I watch how relationships form in communities too, and you can see some of the most amazing things happen because of people that connected through one central thing, like frog pants. I don't know if you had a chance to meet Carrie or Cleo while you were there.
I don't think I did.
She had a speaking. She spoke at the end of the film sack panel, And I had known about her situation through, they have a huge Facebook group, and all the things that she had gone through some really terrible personal things. And she just wanted to get up and thank the community because they raised over $10,000 to help her after her child passed away.
Wow.
And it was just the most beautiful thing. And all of these people at one point were strangers that lived in different places around the world. It was a really powerful thing to see. It was like, this is so cool. This is so cool. So I don't know. There's so much swimming in my head about community, and I think that there's so much that can be said, but
yeah,
just being a part of it, like going out there and being a part of all that was just intense.
It really is. And like you were saying, other than this one thread that they had in common, that small thread was enough to motivate people to give and to care and to love. Just that one little thread connecting people. It's really kind of amazing when you think about it, because you grow up and you grow up with your family and your close friends. You've got tons and tons of these connections, just solidifying relationships to those people. But when I go to Nerdtacular or BlizzCon, and I see somebody that I know from the internet, that I have this one small thing, I get so excited to meet them, and to not just to meet them, but to see them and see them again, because we have, even though it's a small thread compared to the rest of our lives, we may not have anything in common, but that one, it's kind of the one thing that makes us special is something we care about so much that it's just, it just lights a fire in your soul for a second, and you just you're so excited to be with these people, and you latch on to them harder than you would in like a normal situation, someone you just meet in person or a friend at work or something like that. It's a lot more, in a lot of ways it's a lot more concrete, because it's something that you're both passionate about, and you share in that passion together, even if you don't share it together. Like all the people that listen to his shows, they have that foundation. They know all the in jokes. They know all the little blurbs and soundboard things. And it's just really amazing to have those little threads connecting everybody together like that, and just a huge outpouring of support, and just like we're from different walks of life, but we have this thing in common, and we love you just the same.
Yeah, and it is one of the most fascinating things to see people from all walks of life, all races and creeds, all sexual orientations, color of skin, to come together over a common thing that connects them. And I love it. I see so many people. I heard this on a show that I was listening to recently, and it said, we come into this lifetime to connect with people. We don't, as human beings, as psychological beings, we are not meant to live alone. We're not meant, or not live alone. We're not meant to live isolated. There's always the people who do, like, go out and live in the forests and never connect with another human being. But the majority of those who are we want to find our tribe. We want to find our common interests, and it will be painful and mentally anguishing if you don't.
Yeah, that's why solitary confinement is so rough on prisoners, because you're depriving them of human contact.
Yep.
I mean, we're social creatures.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be around each other and learn and live and love one another, and not what is it? No man should be an island, or whatever the saying is about.
But the internet has given us another avenue to do so. With it comes a different set of rules. It's not the same as going to putting together a bowling league where you hang out with your best buddies, or you're going to the bar and you see the same people every week. Now the world is now open to you. You can meet people not because they're in close proximity to you. And that is amazing and incredible. It's like, how did, like, if I had been born 50 years prior to now, would I be the same person that I am today? because my world revolves around internet connectivity and the people that I connect together. And man, I'm eternally grateful for that. Like it's pretty amazing when you think about it. And you know what else is amazing? I just have to say this on the side because this kind of like floored me. So I live in Minnesota, obviously. My parents live in New Jersey. And 20 years ago, if I had a problem like my door latch not latching and the plate sliding off the hinge there, I would have to call my dad on my phone and say, you know, on my wired phone, no less, or my cordless phone, and try to talk through how to fix it. And this weekend, after I got home, or on Monday, I called my dad on 4th of July, and I FaceTimed with him so he could see what the hell was going on with this latch. And he talked me through the damn thing. And he just said, yep, you're doing that right. Nope, get that part up. And I literally fixed my own door through the power of the internet and video chat.
Truly, the world is at your fingertips.
I know. And it's like, and just Tiber said, I don't think my local friends believe I have friends around the country and in Australia. Yeah. Like,
but you totally do.
I can get on, you know, I got a direct message from someone in Australia through Twitter, and it's like, I can talk to you while you are like on the other side of the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing to me. That's incredible. And so we live in a time where it is pretty incredible. I keep saying that word. Pretty outstanding with the things that we can accomplish as people. But the same issues apply no matter what. If you're an online community member, an in-person community member, it's all over the place when it comes to community formation and how things go in there. So yeah, I'm babbling. So anything else you want to talk about with community?
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. It's such a good reminder when we go to these things about how, you know, even though we don't talk to our friends in the community every day, even though we don't see them every day, you know, I'm the kind of person that I sometimes get busy and I don't talk as much, or, you know, don't think to message every day or message people. And it never means I don't care. It just means I get busy, and, you know, I have friends that I don't see for near a decade, but when I do see them, we were right back where we were. Nothing changed. Mm-hmm. And it's these events like this that remind me that, you know, that the people that I care about in these communities are still there no matter when or where I think of them, even if we're not there in the same place. Mm-hmm. And it speaks to how important that these communities are, especially these days, you know, with the prevalence of the internet, especially with, you know, gaming culture and things like this. Our communities are online. They are 24/7. You know, you can message anybody at any time. You know, they'll reply anytime. And it's these little small the interests that we have in common that really cement us all together. And it's just, you meet so many different types of people that you wouldn't normally talk to, you wouldn't normally interact with or socialize with.
Yeah.
But if you see someone with a nerdy shirt at Nerdtacular, by golly, you can come sit with me. Come sit down at the table here. Have you eaten yet? Let's go get some food. Let's do this. Right. Let's do that. You know, and it's a really beautiful thing, and I am so happy that I get the chance to meet and see some of our friends like this in person. And it's such a wonderful thing to share yourself and your interests and your loves and appreciations with people that from all different walks of life, that, you know, have other places in the world. And I mean, like 112, this is the first time I've ever experienced something where, and I don't know how many of you have found this, but you meet somebody or you find somebody from a different generation that was cut from the same cloth that you were. And that's pretty darn close. And I think it, you know, and every night, 112 and I would stay up and talk and chat, and, you know, we're not watching TV. You're just sitting in the room. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really cool thing to cement those friendships even more, because you're friends with them online and you see them, you're like, oh hey, how are you? Oh, it's good to see you. I see you on Twitter all the time. But to sit down and have a heart to heart and really learn of the person, and it just, it's like winning the lottery is finding these communities that you can really fit in. I was a band nerd. I had no real community growing up, but I was a huge band nerd. So when I got to college, that was my community. I lived, ate, drank, and bled and breathed that community of those couple hundred people every day.
Yeah.
And these communities like this, they give me that sense of belonging and that sense of community too, that I haven't gotten since I graduated college. And it's such a beautiful thing for people that don't have, a community in the real world to belong to. They may live far away from their family or something, but they have this thing to hold on to and get the chance to meet these people and really connect. It's just an awesome thing. And I could just keep going on, but I'm just thankful for the friends that I have, not just in the CTR community or in Triple T community, but also in the Nerdtacular family. Like that's all my Horde friends are over there too. So it was so good to see everybody. It was a great weekend.
It really was. It kind of recharged my batteries. It made me feel, good about what we're doing, who we're connecting with, and we met a lot of people who listened to the show, came up and said hi, got pictures, signed things, and it was just like it was so great. And you guys, we were so happy to see you all. One of the other things that was really amazing for me is the outpouring of support for my crafting, which happened while we were at Nerdtacular as well. Because I had planned on, Nevermore, I should say, basically strong-armed me into bringing stuff to put at her table. And I hadn't been planning on making stuff, just kind of like had a couple things to like toss on her table. And as it turned out, the weekend prior to Nerdtacular, I was supposed to work on a commission, and I had ordered the wrong product for the commission. I ordered the wrong style of rings, and it was for Haster, who's part of this community as well. He was super understanding, and I said, I will order them, but they will come while I'm at Nerdtacular, and I will work on it as soon as I get home. And he's like, that's great. So I didn't really plan this out, but I made a ton of stuff. Not a ton. I made as much as I could within a weekend of like stuff that I could just like bring with me really fast. And I put it out, and Nevermore kind of carved a space on her table for me. And it was like immediately people were coming up to get stuff. And I was just like, I saw this on your Twitter. I want the Harry Potter. I want the Slytherin keychain. I want the Hufflepuff keychain. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I was just floored, and I spent the entire 2 days pretty much just making more stuff, and it was selling. As I was like laying it down on the table, people were like, I want that. And so, oh my God,
I saw it happen.
it was incredible. And I just, that is community as well. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting my crafting and sending me messages and telling me that you really want to get something from me. And it just like blows my mind. I'm so grateful for the support and the outpouring of like, I love your stuff and I really want to get something from you. And so that just makes me so freaking happy. I was really tired after Nerdtacular, but it was amazing. It was really, really cool. We don't know at this point if there will be another Nerdtacular at Snowbird. I think the future plan is to consider going on the road to other conventions that are already happening, like Dragon Con or PAX, and kind of meeting up together at those. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but that's the indication that they were giving us when we were there. So I don't know if we'll be having another Snowbird meetup or not, but Snowbird's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it really is.
It's pretty neat.
Beautiful place.
It is.
Still snow on the mountain. It was cool.
So next week we will hit on a letter we have waiting for us, and we'll talk a little bit about. It's kind of tying in from a topic we talked about about a month or so ago. So we'll jump on that. We really wanted to talk about Nerdtacular and the experience that we had there for this show. So we'll jump on that letter next week. And yeah. So anything else on community before we get to some slash moves?
I'm just thankful that we live in a world in which we can find, connect to, or build from scratch a community based on what we like to do and like to see, and just experience, different people, different places, while keeping that thread of interconnectivity. I just think it's a wonderful time to be alive and a wonderful time to experience this. I can't say how truly blessed I am to be in these communities, and I believe in the communities. I believe in what Scott's doing over there and what CTR represents and it means to me, and to the Moo crew as well. I'm truly blessed by knowing and seeing your texts and your smiling faces and your messages in Discord and everything. It's just really good. So hugs and love all around.
Hugs and love. There's lots of hugs and love that are coming out of the slash moves, so we will do them right now. From Ili_CTR, slash move to Weird Al Yankovic for getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh yeah. From Haster, a faux slash move to Jules for the great stream along building of the lanyard.
Yes, I just finished his lanyard. I finished it this afternoon. I started it on stream last night. So that thing is getting shipped off finally. Thank you, Haster. You've been so patient. From Tattooed Freak slash Moo to my Tadpool crew for being a great group of people to group up, talk trash, kick trash, and level gnomes. OSR, Old School Raiders, forever.
Ah, yeah. From Broken Bones slash Moo to the ESRI conference I'm about to go to next week in San Diego. For GIS people, it is the ultimate conference. An entire week around 18,000 other GeoGeek nerds. And GIS is Geographic Information Systems?
Systems, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always sounds like it's like gastrointestinal stress or something like that is what my brain starts to think of.
Hey, that show title, Draven, gastrointestinal stress.
Yep.
Or incredible.
From Ted Sabby slash Moo to the Nerdtacular vendors, staff, and attendees. It was awesome, and we got to see a lot of Jules and Markonnen. They did. Like, we got to see Ted's, like, the entire weekend. That was pretty awesome.
Yep. Him, McCullough, everybody. It was wonderful.
Definitely.
From Ben the Mage slash Moo to everyone that gave me hugs. It says game.
He must have gave.
He must have typed it. So slash Moo to everyone that gave me hugs at Nerdtacular.
I got the best hugs from Ben. I swear. Like, every moment that he was there, hug.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and he gives the best hugs ever.
Yeah, Nevermore is definitely in the running too.
Okay.
Got plenty of those too.
Yes.
But both of them.
Both of them. Just amazing hugs. From Nymeria941 on Twitter slash Moo for my coworkers. Thanks for making work at my new store something I look forward to every day.
That's awesome.
That's
a really good thing to have.
It is. Oh my gosh, to have like supportive coworkers and enjoy your time at work, amazing. Oh, yeah. We have some slash moves from the chat room from Winchester_CTR. Slash moo goes out to the Rubber Chicken Coalition for allowing me to come along for the TOS raid this week. They were so patient with me and helped me learn the fights.
That's fantastic. And from Draven Dresden, a last minute slash moo to all those people that are kind, to quote the doctor, without hope, without witness, and without reward. That's a good quote.
That is a good quote. I dig that quote.
Yeah. And I want to send out a personal slash moo to Steve and to Suzanne and Torek and Jen and all the awesome people that we got to meet at Nerdtacular this weekend. It was so fantastic meeting new people and seeing friendly faces and just getting to talk and visit with y'all. So
absolutely.
To everybody that talked to me this weekend, thank you so much, and slash moo to y'all.
Yes, Steve was awesome. I'm making his lanyard probably coming up this weekend. He commissioned a lanyard for me right on the spot, and I was like, all right. And I gotta make a horde one. So, okay. It's okay,
For the
Steve. I
horde.
forgive you. I forgive you. I also want to add Brittany to that list. Brittany is a listener of Slaying Demons as well, and she was super awesome. Really cool. Very, very fun. Got a great picture with her and the girls together, and that was so cool. Very, very cool to meet those folks. I also would like to give a slash moo. He won't hear this, but I would like to give a slash moo to my friend Johnny Feisty. If you guys have known Johnny, Jim is his real name. From the Instance, he used to do bits on the Instance, convert to raid. His wife passed away last week, very unexpectedly, and she was only 50 years old. So Jim, we love you, and a huge slash moo to you. My heart breaks for you and your family.
Absolutely.
It was so hard to see that, and it happened, like, the news came out on the day that we got to Nerdtacular, and I know how badly Johnny wanted to be there. So he was in our thoughts the entire time. And there we go.
Yeah.
Oof. So the show hath ended. That is a show.
It is a show.
We're Conan, we did a show. We promise we will bring back Tell Us One Thing next week. We screwed up and we got really distracted because of the 4th and us traveling and all that stuff. Something
about working 30 hours in 2 days kind of knocked my brain loose, and I forgot that it was my week to do them. So I will bring you questions next week. I promise.
Somebody forgot to remind him, so there's that too. We also apologize that we didn't have the opportunity to record while we were there. Marconin left on Sunday, and that would usually be the day that we would record because everything is going on prior to that. So we didn't do a show while we were on the road, but we definitely spent a lot of time together and got some great pictures. So
yes, we did.
Yes. So anything coming up for the week that you wish to pimp?
Goodness, I'm trying to think. Brain is a mush due to work, but let's see. I don't think there's a lot going on in the next week for me.
That's good.
Other
right?
than work and maybe trying to start some crafting stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully my warlock is almost 110, so she will hit 110 like with. I've only got like 30 minutes left, and she'll be 110, so that'll be cool. So, I don't know. Always keep an eye on my Twitter in case I decide to stream mount runs, just on the off chance. I've been precariously balancing my butt the entire show on my chair, which broke right before Nerdtacular. When you go to the circus or you watch like the night show, and this guy's got pie plates spinning on poles. That's what my butt has been doing for the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So I'm in the business for a new gaming chair. So if I do stream, hopefully in the next week or two, you will see a new gaming chair, and it might be orange because I like orange.
You do like orange. That is awesome. Yeah, it's like having a exercise, or what's it called, the stability ball underneath your.
Yeah, my core is rock solid.
Rock solid core, baby.
Core.
Core. We got some great time to spend with John Jagger the time we were there too. He is a funny.
Especially going to ramen.
Oh my God, he's such a
going
funny
to
dude.
Get some ramen. Oh man,
such a funny dude. I love John so much. And I will close this episode by saying we are working on a very special guest for the show.
Yes.
I will not say this yet because I don't want to promise it and not have it happen, but it's someone who I've talked to at Nerdtacular, who is a very highly respected psychologist, and I'm very excited if we can get her to be here. So we're working on it. May require
you kind of really narrowed it down there.
Okay, but I'm not going to say the name.
Vague, not vague.
Vague, not vague. But yeah, we're really, really stoked to hopefully have this person on. So, there we go. And my schedule. Oh, by the way, I get older next week. By the way, just saying. Yeah, my birthday's on Wednesday. So I get older next week, and. Yeah, there you go. And it is 1 year ago today that I drove 4 hours with 2 scared kitties in the car to move to Minnesota.
Hooray!
1 year ago
Happy
today.
anniversary.
It has been a year since I moved to Minnesota. And a year of craziness it has been. Okay,
Yes,
with that, we're going to bring this show to a close like we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. You know, I like swag. And if you want some sweet Triple T swag, you can definitely check out our merch store. Jules is wearing a very nice Triple T shirt right now. And you can find those t-shirts and other designs along with sweatshirts, mugs, phone cases, notebooks, and laptop cases, and some other cool stuff. Where do you go? taurenThinkTank.com/store.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, and if you pledge it over $10 or more, you get some chainmail from me. It's pretty awesome.
Woo.
You can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, join our Discord server. They're awesome. There's a great support channel, pets, creative shares, all that great stuff. Quick way to get there, tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can like us on Facebook if you want to at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us at 140 characters or less on Twitter. You can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find my lovely co-host Jules at JulesRPG, and myself you can find at Marconin Wow.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find us at the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. We love seeing you here with us, however you can be with us. Hey, Marconin, go get some sleep.
Hey, Jules, I definitely will. I'm tired.
I know you're really tired. We're going to let you get some sleep, and we're going to be back next week with another letter from you guys. Send us letters, by the way. We could use them. Until next time, for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. /moo, everybody.
/moo. Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Thanks, Draven.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
The moos have been
and I'm
slashed.
wishing you a happy birthday.
So, Leo, I think that's the first time in 5 years anyone has said the moos have been slashed. And I love that. That's awesome. I don't think anybody's ever said that in 5 years of doing this show.
I like that, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Ah, okay. Lightning crashes in torrential rain. What does the album say? Not here. The community we deserve. When communities go lower the flies. Gastrointestinal stress. Remembering Nerdtacular. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, rock solid core.
Rock solid core. Core! We experienced ramen for the first time.
Yes, we did. We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about that. So, yeah, we had talked about it on the show that we had never tried ramen, and Kalani set us up. So we've got a place that we went to because he knew about it from Atlanta, and they had another location in Salt Lake City. So we made the excursion, and we had it, and it was amazing. My only problem was that my stomach was a freaking mess, and because I had a migraine that was just about to go, and I was feeling kind of sick, but I really didn't want to miss it. Oh, it was so good. And I could only eat half of it because I felt like I was going to barf if I ate the whole thing.
I ate the whole thing. I was very hungry, and it was very delicious.
Yeah. And then you were like, do I want more, or were you full?
I wanted more noodles because if you eat all the noodles and there's still a lot of broth, they'll bring more ramen and just slop it in there so you get more of the juices out. But I was like, oh, I'll just use the big spoon and eat it. It was very good, very tasty.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely tell that I had the garlic one. I had the garlic lovers one, and they were like, now you know that you're gonna smell like garlic. When I got back to the room and I was kind of feeling kind of gross and sick, and I'm laying in the bed and I'm under the covers and I'm like, oh dear God, I smell like garlic. It didn't last though. Like it was gone within the morning. I was fine, but oh man, that was so good. Oh, so good. I just wish that I could eat more.
Yeah. So I was gonna say again, I bought a lot of stuff. You know, I'm the collector, so I bought stuff. I was gonna talk about it on the show, but Tim and Kira, who listen to the show,
yep,
they make leather things. I'll link their page, but I got the Mage Crest coaster. I got that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And they do a whole bunch of stuff. I'll link their Etsy page in the chat.
Read one line above. Draven is not confirmed to be a vampire, but he doesn't sparkle, so, you know.
Yeah. We can confirm he doesn't sparkle.
Yeah. Tim and Kira are awesome. I didn't get a chance to talk to them, but I waved to them across the way as we were walking through stuff, and it was good to see them.
Oh yeah. They complimented our last show. They said it was a really, you know, and I was worried about that show because I got
the religion show. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of got vulnerable there, I felt, but I've only heard positive things about that episode, which is good. It's very good.
You know what? I give you tons of props for that show because I know that kind of opened up a side of you that you don't talk about a whole lot, and it was raw and it was awesome. So
thank you. I was very nervous about it because, you know, I'm you know, that's why I leave all that stuff out of Twitter and stuff, because I know there's people that'll jump to conclusions and they'll start, you know, they'll really ridicule people that don't think like they do.
Yeah. We don't live in that community though.
No, I know. I just, you know, I just dip your toe in just to test the waters.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, but the thing about it is, like, you know, I function in more of a spiritual capacity, and I believe in things that a lot of people may not. You know, one of the things that I've toyed with, and it's like there's a show out there, and it's run by a psychologist and a spiritual medium, and the spiritual medium happens to be the mother of Dr. Holiday Bean, her mom, Kelly White.
Oh yeah.
And I would very much like to bring them on the show, but I know that there could be some discomfort from there. Not from you necessarily, and maybe it will because it's totally different, but I know that there are some
fine
people
by me.
Not by you. I thought you were saying something and then stopped. Sorry.
No, not by me. No, it's very interesting stuff. I mean, I
love listening to their show, and so you know, but so I have toyed with this idea back and forth numerous times, and I'm on the side of it right now because I've been listening to their show a lot, at least recently, and I'm like, I really want these ladies on the show because they're so cool and they're so smart, but you know, I also know that there's a risk for doing that kind of episode and people going, I'm not spiritual, I don't believe in that hocus pocus, I don't believe in mediums, and blah 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 blah.
Well, you know what's cool is that our next topic probably wouldn't have anything to do with that. So then they could listen next week. True.
That is true.
I mean, anybody that listens has the option to continue or not continue to listen. Like I said in that last show, I was like, if you don't agree, that's fine. If you want to stop listening, whatever. It's your prerogative. But,
yeah. But this is who I am.
You know, and we're just talking about things. That's the whole point of podcasting, is talking about things.
That's right. And
you might learn something. You might, you know, my hope is that me talking last show maybe taught some people some things, you know, people who have this idea of people like me have this preconceived notion and this, idea or prejudice or whatever it is, what have you, and hopefully, might shine some light onto it.
Right.
Just like us having Steph on, shine some light on people who don't know very many transgender people like me. I honestly don't know that many. I haven't interacted with very many, and that's fine. It's good. It's good to talk to people and see from other points of view, and at least you don't agree. Guess what? Most people don't agree on most things. That's okay.
That's true. Kaya, who's
so
Dr. Peterson? I'm not familiar with who you're talking about.
Are you talking about the Canadian college professor Peterson? David Peterson?
Oh, clinical psychologist. Yeah.
Clinical psychologist. Oh, okay. So, Jordan Peterson. No, I've heard his name, but I didn't know which Peterson.
I mean, I'm Jordan Peterson. Okay, I actually am not familiar
Peterson.
With Peterson.
Not son. Ah, it's a different one.
I'm not familiar with his work, but I can.
Oh, it is Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think I was gonna send the letter and ask to see if we can get Dr. Shirley and Kelly on the show, because I think that would be, why not? They're wonderful women, and they have definitely impacted my thought process on things. Kelly had said something on a show recently where she where it's just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like when you talk about people who take away energy from you.
Almost fell down.
I know. I saw you like tip there for a second.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I mean, I'm serious. This thing is like it's like a top. Just it's not spinning. It's just balancing.
It's just like on a balance thread. So
wee. I've got like 3 or 4 pulled up in Amazon. I'm trying to figure out which one I want.
Oh, which chair? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I may have to put up a Twitter poll or something because I can't decide.
Tell me which one to buy. Well, we're going to get out of here so you can go rest. And you have to work tomorrow still?
Oh, yeah. I have 2 12-hour shifts at least. And with the amount of travel time between jobs,
it's going
to be long. It's going to be a long time. I like I said, I pretty much when I get to work tomorrow, I'll already be in overtime and I have 2 full days left.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
we will,
well, you're going to very much enjoy your Sunday and Monday for sure.
Yeah. Sunday, Monday, it's going to be just brain off, wow, and fun things. Because I've been working aside from the travel, I've been working on my days off, most days off, past few weeks. So,
He's gonna be
so
like,
I am ready for it.
Suns out, guns out. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, chat room, lovely people. We adore you. Thank you for being with us. We should be back on a normal schedule for a little bit here until we hit the end of August, and I will be traveling for work. But in the meantime, we will see you next week.
Mm-hmm. We will, and we'll talk to you guys in the meantime online. /moo, everybody. /moo, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.